given by the Central Bank of Nigeria, where it withdrew the operation license of more than 4,000 Bureau de Change operators. This, according to the CBN, will sanitize and, of course, bring stability in the financial market in Nigeria. Most especially has to do with the foreign exchange, naira against the dollar, also rising here and there. So thinking that activities of linkages coming from the Bureau de Change has contributed to the high cost of dollar in the Nigerian market. As such, they have decided to withdraw the license of more than 4,000 Bureau de Change operators. Okay, this is our focus this beautiful Monday morning in the program Nigeria Today. You too can be part of the program by calling through the number 09038808883. That is 09038808883. You can post your comment on our Facebook page, Prestigefm Mina. That is Prestigefm91.7mx. Prestigefm91.7mx. That's where we are streaming live. And on YouTube, Prestigefm91.7mx. That is Prestigefm 91.7mx. And on radio app, prestigefmradio.org.ng. That is prestigefmradio.org.ng. Dr. Muhammad Antala Ali, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, and good morning, our listeners.
Okay. These directives are given by or moved by the central bank, that's the Apex Bank of Nigeria, withdrawing the operation license of more than 4,000 Bureau de Change operators in the country in order to bring sanity in the issue of financial irregularities leading to inflation and, of course, high cost of living in the country. Have we really foresaw that the central bank might take such a drastic action against Bureau de Change operators?
Yes, it has become mandatory for the central bank to take such kind of actions. Looking at this is just one out of numerous actions that were taken by the central bank to find a lasting solution to the issue of the free downward slide of the value of the naira against the dollar. And of course, you know, in recent times, especially in the last 3 months, we've seen the enormous downward slide of the value of naira when compared to the American dollar. And therefore, the CBN decided to take actions, especially regarding the finding lasting solutions to our economic problems. And one of them, of course, is taking a sweeping attack on the Bureau de Change. Bureau de Change people or operators have been fingered to be part of those who have contributed enormously to the downward slide of the value of the naira, and then to even its value currently in the market. Other ones include speculators, but speculators and the Bureau de Change operators are operating hand in hand, in pari passu, looking at the fact that it is the speculators who will sit before a computer in the cozy comfort of their rooms and then speculate the value of the dollar against the naira in 1 hour. And in the next hour again, they also make such kind of speculations. And when they make their speculations, so many people will gain a lot of money through those speculations. Not that the speculations are right, but because they own the market media.
Okay, talking about the markets there, let's look at who are really the BDC operators.
Yes,
who are they?
The BDC operators are licensed operators who are also operating on the parallel market in the exchange of foreign currencies. And they go to the central bank, collect the exchange at an official rate, and then sell at their own rate. Usually the central bank specify in the past. The difference between the central bank rate and that of the BDC sometimes is usually not more than 1 naira plus or 2 naira plus. But all of a sudden, other unscrupulous element came into the BDC operations, and they appeared not to be satisfied with the 1 naira or 2 naira gains that they always make, and decide to go out of their way to begin to even get involved in collecting certain monies that were ill-gotten through corrupt means. And those who got those money laundering, because they want to, as quickly as possible, do away with the money, they approach the BDC operators, and the BDC operators will give them at whatever rate, and they are satisfied with that, and therefore that was how that arrangement was distorted, and more government officials began to siphon government money and were approaching the BDC operators for that exchange. So the operators will go and get it from the central bank at official rate and then sell it at their own rate on the parallel market. In the past, you cannot access the foreign currency unless you are going for some reasons, urgent reasons. One, education in a foreign land. Secondly, medical tourism. You are going for a medical trip. And then thirdly, if you are going on a business. And there are specific businesses that have been specified for one to access the foreign exchange from the central bank. One is if you are purchasing hospital equipment, if you are purchasing one of those approved items that you are importing, and then if you are importing industrial machines as well, and then some other ingredients such as chemicals that are used to produce one or two things in our local industries. These are basically some of the ways through which people can access the foreign exchange. But suddenly, because of the rots, even in the central bank itself, so many people began to access these dollars with relative ease. Somebody will write that he is going for a hospital equipment only for him to import toothpick. And then you see 2-3 containers of toothpick coming from China. Sometimes it will even be cotton wool. This cotton wool is used for cleaning ears. They can bring it of about 2 or 3 containers. This for someone who have written that he's importing industrial machine.
Sharp practices
practices here and there. And when they go to those foreign lands, they simply dump those monies into their foreign accounts, and then they buy those toothpicks or buy the cotton wool and bring it back to the country. You know, at a point in time, they've even started importing soup from China. No, that is to tell you the level of rot that has come to characterize the foreign exchange. Somebody will collect the hard-earned dollar with the sole intent of importing a certain commodity, only for him to import an inferior one that is not even needed at all in the country.
Given the foreign company's specification on how he wants them to produce it.
Exactly.
Of lower quality.
So you can imagine how on earth someone can import a soup from China. Pepper soup is being imported from China, sealed one. So, you know, so many things were happening.
Just like frozen chicken is there.
So many things were happening, and those were the things that added to the downward slide of the dollar.
But even coming down to Nigeria, some schools and some businesses were accepting foreign currency dollars as a legal tender in Nigeria.
Well, up to now, foreign currencies, whether it is a dollar or the Deutsche Mark or the pound, are still illegal as tenders in Nigeria. If you go through the Central Bank Act, it has specifically stated clearly that only the Naira is a tender in Nigerian transactions. If you want to pay school fees, you want to pay for services, you want to buy anything, you use the Naira. So for any organization to demand for any foreign currency, you have a right as a customer to sue that organization for violating that rule of the central bank that specified that only the Naira remain a tender. And this is one of the things that is happening to a lot of Nigerians psychologically. We do not have the love for the currency. Other countries of the world have worse currencies than our own, yet they remain resolute and glued to their own currency, no matter how shabby, no matter how valueless it has become. So you can't go to America, for example, and say you want to use another currency as a tender. You usually get arrested because it violates their own rules there. You don't go to Britain and use any other currency apart from the British pound. So you can see that for any organization or for any individual to demand the dollar as a tender, of course, that violates the CBN Act, and such an individual or such organization or group should be apprehended and be brought to book so that it will help to ameliorate the issue. And when you look at the BDCs, for example, many of them are not properly licensed. Many of them are simply cronies of either government officials or some even notable public office holders. And because they are cronies to them, they simply give them the requisite dollar because they have access to the dollar, and then they continue to operate on that trajectory. And that has added to the downward slide of the naira.
But even the economy, do you recognize them? Since when they are talking about the prices of dollars, they will tell you that from the parallel market and of course others, this one is coming from the CBN and this one is coming from...
Yes, they are being recognized by law. They are being recognized. But only that the BDCs have suddenly sprung up and have become so many. And because of this multitude number of the BDCs, some of them are not properly registered BDCs.
So what's the function of the anti-graft agencies in this aspect?
This is where they have to come in. And that is why the central bank now has swooped in on them, sweeping on the BDCs in Kano, in Abuja, in Lagos, and is even in areas like Port Harcourt, where they mostly are domiciled. And we saw what happened. Before that,
they did close their market for some days as a result of the high price of
the markets of the BDCs were closed for some times, and then they sweep on them, and they made...
And it made stability, the naira against the dollar.
Exactly,
right?
it has stabilized to some extent. And they made enormous arrests and made a lot of discoveries. They have discovered that many of the operators of the BDCs are operating by proxy. Those BDCs are actually owned by so many notable government officials, including notable politicians in the country. And what they are simply doing is because the politicians or the public office holders have access to the central bank, they go in there, get the dollar, and then take it to their own BDCs. And then the business continues. You can imagine, for example, sometimes even a government official who will lodge government money into a fixed account, and then he invests this money into the BDC, and within days he will be able to make so much gains, and then before he returns it to the treasury. This is what so many people are doing today: money laundering. There was even a time when even some sitting governors are being accused of doing such kind of thing too, with the FAC money. That when the FAC money comes in, what they do is to simply take it to the BDCs for some days or for some weeks, and then later on withdraws it after making their own gains. So these are some of the things that are happening, and you can see that to withdraw the operating license of over 4,000 BDCs in the country means that there are a lot of rots that are going on within the BDCs. And the earlier all of these things are being checkmated, the better. The earlier people support the move of the central bank, the better. Because if we don't do this, of course, there is no way the naira will appreciate. What the naira is going through now is something that is wrought upon it by the citizens themselves. Not because the naira cannot compete with the dollar, but because even the citizens are now becoming the 13th official on the playing ground. You have other currencies, you have the naira. The naira will have competed favorably.
Definitely.
Because to some extent, Nigeria is exporting crude oil, and Nigeria is also exporting some agricultural produce. There are so many other things that Nigerians are doing to get the hard-earned dollar, yet naira keep depreciating. Why? Because the BDCs are not operating the way they should. There is immorality in the operations of the BDCs, and the earlier all of these things have been checkmated, the better. Many of the BDC owners have become so strong. It's either because they are holding fort for people who are highly influential in the society, or through their own connections, they have also grown wings and have become very strong. And that is why I will keep supporting the move of the central bank. It shows that the government is not just sitting down just like that. You can see that sometimes last week, the naira gained by over 300 naira in one sweep, from 1,900 naira to about 1,600 naira. And since then, it has been hovering around this figure, 1,600 naira, sometimes 1,005 plus, 1,650, 1,007. It has been hovering around that figure all since last week, that it was able to gain about 300 naira. And we hope to see that in the next few weeks, with these actions now being taken by the CBN, more and more of positive result should be able to come out from the exchange rate between the dollar and the naira, because it has always been dollar and the naira. Some currencies have even given up. They are no longer competing with the dollar. How much more of our own naira, which is still competing? Go to some countries. They have, because of the nature of depreciation of their currency, they have to remove some zeros out of their currency.
And there are projection that Nigeria might go into that.
No, we don't want a situation where we have to go into that, because even if you remove zeros out of your currency, it won't get anything. But we want, let it compete as it is now. Let there be free flow of market forces, and then let's see what the naira is going to do within that forces. But not Nigerians working against the naira.
When you talk about free flow of market forces, that is what has led to a high cost of living right now in Nigeria. Whenever you go into the market, they will tell you that it is as a result of the high cost of dollar. That's why it is selling for 5 naira is 10 naira, 20 naira.
This is
and Nigerians are really feeling the effect of it.
Psychologically, this is what the speculators and the BDCs want us to believe.
Okay.
But that is not the reality on ground. The BDC operators, as well as the speculators, they sit down, like I told you, before a computer in the comfort of their bedrooms and speculate about the value of the naira. Not because they have gone in there to do transactions, but because they are always on their system and are looking at the way and manner transactions are going on, and
the foreign exchange,
the current exchange, and then they speculate. Once they speculate, they send the speculations to the BDC markets, and then the BDC market will take it up from there and use these speculations. For example, during the free days of speculators, now they are not free again. During the free days of speculators, they can decide to speculate this morning that the exchange rate is 1,800 naira. And before evening, they can say it's already 2,000 naira. And then you see the BDC is taking it up from there. So the dollar has increased in terms of exchange rate, is what the BDC operators and the speculators want us to know. But once the central bank work assiduously against the BDC operators, as well as the speculators, I'm sure so many things will fall into places, and we'll begin to see the naira appreciating, and then we'll also begin to see a reduction in prices of commodity. Don't forget that just recently, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had met with so many of our marketers, the major marketers in Nigeria, the Dangotes of this world, the Boas, and all of other marketers. And he told them point blank, reduce the prices of your commodities. We know what you are spending. We know your cost of productions. So produce products that will be for the benefit of Nigerians, not just maximizing gains all the time. Because you can not imagine, for example, you have a bag of cement selling for about 10,500 naira. In some areas, 8,500 nairas. But when you go across the border to Niger, to Cote d'Ivoire, to Senegal, they sell at about 3,700 naira. So what are we saying? Even though they sell in safer, but when you exchange the safer, the value gives you 3,700 naira. So what are we saying? If they can produce the same cement in Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire and sell it at that rate of 3,700 naira, what makes that of Nigeria to be 10,700?
But there are differences in markets and economic of such countries. Maybe because of production there, they have stable electricity supply, petrol prices and what have you, led to the kind of prices that they are selling.
Even the petrol prices that we are talking about, go to Niger, go to Cameroon, go to Cote d'Ivoire, go to Benin Republic, go to all those Francophone countries, and then sample the price of petrol there. You will see that the prices of petrol in those countries are higher than that of Nigeria.
Electricity supply? Electricity
supply too, as well. Even though they have constant electricity supply, but go and check their billing system. They pay higher than an average Nigerian. The only thing is that they are more disciplined than we Nigerians, because for someone who is living in a Francophone country, do not give room for wastages. During the daytime, they switch off all lights, and then they only switch on appliances that are necessary. But in Nigeria today, go to certain houses, you see even the security light is on for 24 hours. You see the ceiling fan in a room keep rolling for 24 hours. You see the AC keep running whether there is someone in the room or not. It keeps running for 24 hours. You see the freezer there keep operating for 24 hours. So while they are more economical in terms of utilization, we tend to be more wasteful. So those are the differences. Otherwise, many of the things that we have, they don't even have them. Sometimes you don't know that Nigeria is much more better until you cross the border and move to another country. Those who have gone to Europe will tell you. Those who have tried to go to Europe through the Sahara Desert or even through the Mediterranean Sea will tell you all of those situations that they have seen. None of them have come with beautiful stories. So, I mean, in Nigeria, all we need is for people to begin to have love for the country. And it is only when you have love for the country, that is when you will have love for the symbols of the country. The emblem, the currency, the flag of the country, and so many other things. These are readily indices of patriotism. But how many Nigerians love all of these things? You don't love anything associated with Nigeria, yet you love other countries. Those countries don't even know you exist. Those countries don't even value the love you have for them. All they are looking at you, you are just a tin that they can utilize. And then once you are empty, they dump you. That is it. Go to the Americans, the British. They only take in those who will add value to their living standards.
All right, 0903-880-8883 is the number to call in. Of course, make your comment, or you can post your comment on our Facebook page, Prestige FM Mina. And we're streaming live on our Facebook page, Prestigefm91.7mx. That is Prestigefm91.7mx. And on YouTube, Prestigefm91.7mx. That is Prestigefm91.7mx. And on radio app, prestigefmradio.org.ng. That is prestigefmradio.org.ng. Let's see who they have on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, this morning. Professor Dankala, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Auntie Memuna.
Morning, sir.
All of you in the studio. I say my Prince and I just had the photo. Calling from good people from government to Boso. You see the problem today. What I'm going to say about it, we thank God I have somebody like a President who is there to carry the truth for the air. Nigeria is a country, it didn't value what God has given them, the best God has given them. And there's no unity, no harmony, such is such. All what I see in this country generally who are popular is corruption and ignorance to God. One is saying that we don't have any country more than this country. Nigeria, I'm proud of my country. And we have to think back where Nigeria is coming, where we are today. I will talk about the heroes who have sacrificed their life, their energy, their money to make this country have unity. What are we talking today, our leaders? Our leaders are so corrupt, even the followers, because we don't want to tell ourselves the truth. The issue is that my last word, in I really like you. I believe one day, our coming generation, even though we have opportunity today and can be able to do the right thing, our coming generation will wipe those corruption so that Nigeria will be more great in Africa, in the world entirely. Thank you. I left my thought there.
Thank you very much. Ibrahim Saleh on our Facebook page is saying, my take on today's issue is that revoking of the license of 4,000 BDC operators in the country is one thing to revoke the license and is another thing for it to function very well. You and I can't get this dollar freely from the bank, but bank officials, big government officials and politicians get this dollar freely and arrange with BDC operators to barb our heads without water. Unless and until we start having a total attitudinal change towards our beloved country, we can never get it right. I still submit. Thank you very much, Ibrahim Saleh, for that comment on our Facebook page. Abdullah Salu Keto is saying good morning. Morning to you. Umar Manta, morning to you also. Hello, good morning. Hello.
My name is Ambassador Gebu the Challenger, Devano from Tudun Fulani City.
All right.
Dr. Tantala, good morning.
Morning.
Ajia Memuna.
Yes, sir.
You see the step federal government is taking, you understand, is a very welcome development. But please, this one that Mr. Governor is giving Dangote and Bua order to bring down the
president.
price. If you take a look at it, it's a welcome development too. But there are some things he's supposed to put in place which he failed to do that. There is what we call tax relief. You give companies like Dangote and Abdisamat and other companies tax relief for 6 months or 1 year. At least they will reduce the price of their commodity in the market. But we are not giving them, and he's giving them order to reduce it. We don't do things like that. Mr. President should look into this properly. You understand? Seriously speaking, if you take a look at it, Nigerians are suffering. More than half of Nigerians are living in extreme poverty. So please, we are looking up to our president.
Hello?
We are looking up to him as a role model.
Hello, Jebu, are you with us?
He should step up and do the needful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
He has talked about this tax leave for the opt-in time, and I try to simply overlook, because one thing I have understand from him is that sometimes he has myopic views about certain things, and I wouldn't know whether because, again, he also suffers from limited vocabulary. That is why he has been using that oftentimes. The tax leave he has been talking about, President Muhammadu Buhari had sometimes in 2021 granted a tax leave to so many of the leading companies in Nigeria, including the Dangote he's talking about. Part of the deal was that they are going to help in the construction of roads. You know, that time Dangote was said to be constructing concrete roads. But till today, despite those tax leave, the companies have not constructed anything. They've not contributed much to infrastructure development in the country, despite the tax leave that they were granted. So you can see that you can grant tax leave to a company, and they wouldn't do the work, yet they also are free from that, tax, paying tax for that period of time. Or sometimes they do certain work and overinflated the price of the contract, and at the end of the day, it is the country that will still lose. So the issue of tax leave have been granted in the past, and the companies were not forthcoming in terms of doing that corporate social responsibilities, despite the tax leave that they were granted. Right. So I believe Gebush will also make his research very well before using certain terms, because it is one thing to use terms and it's another thing to say the truth about them. And you need to also go deeper to make more research before you come on air to say certain things.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello, Hajia Memuna. I'm talking about the present government.
All right. 0903-880-8883 is the number to call, and of course make your comments. You can post your comment on our Facebook page, Prestige FM Mina. That is Prestige FM Mina. Hello, good morning. Hello? Okay. Okay, or you can post your comment on our Facebook page, Prestige FM Mina. I'm streaming live on our Facebook page, Prestigefm91.7mx, and our radio app, prestigefmradio.org.ng. Hello, good morning. Okay, it seems like we're having some challenges with the line, but keep on calling. I'm sure you'll get through to us. We're talking about CBN revoking more than 4,000 BDC operating license in Nigeria. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Hajia Memuna.
Morning, sir.
Doctor, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Aliyu Halidu. I'm calling from Tunga.
All right, Aliyu, make your comments.
Doctor, you have said it all. Doctor, one thing about Nigeria, we should learn how to love this country. We should not always be blaming government. We are not using dollar, we are using naira. But people are taking advantage of this dollar. Doctor, Nigeria is one of the best countries in the world to live. I tell you. I've traveled a lot. But if I'm outside Nigeria, I always pray to come back to Nigeria. I tell you, without light, no water, but I prefer to live here than outside. I tell you, we should just learn how to respect this country and to help ourselves. All this issue about dollar is people that are causing all these problems. We should learn how to help the government to make things easy. But if not that, get scared, to be honest with you, we are inside a mess. So we should stop blaming the government. All this, the way they change, they know what they are doing. The politicians, some of them know what they are doing. You see, so we just pray that Allah will help us.
Amen.
So let me rest my case.
All right, thank you very much.
So you can see this is a clear testimony from somebody who has been traveling regularly. You wouldn't know that you are living good in Nigeria until when you leave the country. Most at times, many people don't even appreciate. And you cannot say completely the government is a write-off. No, there are certain takeaways, positive takeaways that the government is doing. It is not that those in governance are sleeping. They are also making moves to see how they can pull the country out of the current situation. Agreed, the situation has been there, it was inherited, but that is not an excuse. Once you accept the position of leadership, you have accepted even the burden. You have accepted that you are going to carry everything on your head and find solution. Or even advanced countries today have their own kind of problems. So every country has its own problem. And Nigeria cannot afford to be different.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, let me start call. 0903-880-8883 is number to call in, of course. Make your comments. Bureau de change operators operating license be revoked by the central bank of more than 4,000 BDC operators. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Auntie Memona.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Dantala.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, my name is Abdazak Salugo. I want to talk generally on the issue of this rising cost of this dollar.
All right, sir.
You see, the CBN can do undo because it is the regulatory body of all the banks. But I want to also come in here that until our political figures begin to have a rethink by one, purchasing, they should cultivate the habit of purchasing made in Nigerian goods. I think that will also help in regulating or in squatting down these dollars. Okay. So that is the only suggestion I want to offer. To begin to cultivate the habit of buying made in Nigerian goods. I think if once we are able to do that, the glory of our naira will bounce back. Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This caller's comments made us to take a look at the popular advocates or slogan by some governments then saying that, okay, Nigeria is supposed to patronize made in Nigerian products. But if you look at what is happening in some of the agricultural sector where the government puts embargo on importation of some goods, the prices have continued to rise up.
Yes, they have to rise up because at the time of patronizing the local content, you know, it started with Obasanjo, where wheat flour was substituted by cassava flour, making bread and all of that.
Yes.
And then even Adire, the locally made clothes in southwestern Nigeria, was patronized by the president himself, and he urged all other political office holders to begin to patronize locally made clothes. That has gained ground to some extent, but after some time, you know, it died down until when President Muhammadu Buhari came in 2016 and decided to revamp the agricultural sector, no thanks to the banditry activities that also thwarted that effort. So over the years, if Nigerians will patronize made in Nigerian goods, it will add value to the local producers, it will help to sustain the local industries, and that will mean that they can survive, because local industries have suffered untold hardship, ranging from lack of patronage to lack of electricity and cost of production and all of that. And patronizing locally made products will also make our farmers to be more stronger economically, because when they produce and they knew that what they produce can readily be purchased right there at the farm gate, or can be purchased after it has been processed and value has been added to it, it will make them to make more money. So I think it is a good thing. And like I said, there are a lot of indices that you can use to show patriotism to your country. Patronizing locally made product is one of them. The love for the color, the green, white, green, is also another way. And then the love for the emblem is another one too. And then you also have the love for the currency is another one too. So many indices are there that you can use to love your country. Right. If you don't love your country, who will love it for you?
Okay. 0903-880-8883 is the number to call in. Of course, make your comments in the program Nigeria Today on Prestige Radio 91.7 FM, Mina. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Auntie Memuna.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Doctor. My name is Comrade Awal Balakuta.
Okay, go ahead, comrade.
With regard to the periodic change license that has been revoked, well, by the CBN, it is in tandem with the statutory responsibilities of the CBN as the bankers bank that regulates the affairs of financial institutions. But be that as it may, Doctor, the question that we need to ask is this: who is saddled with the responsibility, of regulating these foreign currencies? Prior to the floating of, dollars, it is the CBN that is saddled with that responsibility of regulating these, currencies. So, but now it has been floated. And this problem is a spillover effect. It's not something that, just emanate today. So the question is this: I feel what is most important for us to call a spade, in order to call a spade is that the CBN need to reject itself. Because most of these periodic change operators are proxies of most of these, bankers. And they provide the leeway or windows for them to get these currencies, these foreign currencies, at an official rate against the extant provision that this official rate is supposed to be given out, just as rightly stated by Dr. Antela. Their currency is supposed to be given in terms of purchase of industrial machines and what have you, medical leave, study leave, and what have you. And at the end of it, these people, the bankers themselves, engage in sharp practices, through their proxies that operate all these periodic change. So I think it's better we call a spade. Let the right thing be done. The central bank needs to strengthen itself. And this issue of, ban on this periodic change, my prayers is that it should not be a kind of lip service, because for quite some time we've been having this kind of, situations. The government will just create a small screen. At the end of the day, we'll go back to square one. So the CBN need to take this, step that they have taken seriously. Let it be a very robust step, so that at the end of the day, it will bring out the desired, results. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, 0903-880-8883, strongly supporting this action of CBN in revoking the operating license of BDC operators in the country. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right. You can post your comments on our Facebook page, Prestige FM Mina, and of course, we are streaming live on YouTube and on our Facebook page at the same time, Prestigefm91.7mx, and on the radio app, prestigefmradio.org.ng. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Ahmed Musa. I'm calling from Metumbi.
All right, Madam Ahmed, make your comments.
I want to commend Dr. Dantala.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You are doing well. Thank you. Keep it up, please.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that call. And also 0903-880-8883, shifting blames. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Timmy Mona.
Morning, sir. Who do you have on the line?
Thank you, Timmy Mona. You are speaking with Mala Umar, sir. Yes, I think I just want to appreciate you and Dr. Dentala. Some of these issues are what we read on social media every day. The issue of CVN trying to stop or collecting some of this, the license. Somebody just said it. A deputy director in CBN we were discussing last week. Some of these bureau change that we're talking about belong to all these retired CBN staffs. So I think, if about 4,000, is it 4,000 something? For me and Dr. Dentala, those ones that we escape will still come back again. Because the way, the economy challenge brought about high inflation in this country, and I think this new government, somebody said it. Let's just, for me, 1 year is too small to start judging what a government will do. But even the CBN too, and Team Yamuna, sometimes you just be there because some of this policy they bring, the policy that will favor them, the policy that they have interest on. How many poor people in this country, Dr. Dentala, that use or have even touched $1? So, if we're regulating our economy with this the dollar, everything we do, everything this country buy, let even the federal government start buying things with Naira. All our marketer, all the petrol something we do, everything federal government is doing outside this country is with this dollar. So these are some of it. How many people go to Korea market and use dollar? Apart from some women that have maybe until you have one gold that you want to spend, and they said today dollar is kaza, you change it and use your money. So I just want to appreciate you for always, I think, giving, sensitizing Niger Light with some of this issue, Dr. Dentala.
Thank you so much.
But for me, we also need to do more. And somebody also talk about Nigeria. Nigeria is actually a best place to stay all over this world. No matter what happens, let's always talk good about this country. Thank you very much, Auntie Mimuna.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you so much, Umar. Malo Umar.
Abdullah Ali Ugoro. Okay, noted. Thank you very much. Umar Azmi is saying naming, shaming, and jailing all immoral BDC operators would have been the best punishment. The same should apply to fuel subsidy beneficiaries, but government keep dancing around the problem. Thank you, Umar Azmi. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Auntie Naimana. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Who do I have on the line?
My name is Kajiru, calling from Pariko.
All right, Madam Sagir, make your comment.
You see, this issue of this dollar issue is just all about corruption and lack of patriotism. We Nigerians, we are not patriotic to this our country. That is the truth of the issue. And corruption again. Because somebody sitting on the high place level in government will do everything to sabotage the effort of the government so that to his own advantage, to his own personal advantage. These they do the change operators that they revoke their licenses. They will still go back, as the last caller said, they will still go back and get their certificates back to continue. Maybe they even went back to collect it so that they will continue their business. And secondly, we Nigerians, we must not use dollar as a means of our transaction internationally. Look at South Africa, look at Egypt. They are not using dollars. And mostly, if you go to Abuja, go to some ShopRite and this supermarket, they use dollars, and dollar is not a legal tender in Nigeria. And government knew about it. Why are they not going to arrest those people using dollars in Nigeria? It's part of what is causing this problem. They are trying to legalize using dollar in this country when dollar is not a legal tender. How many people use dollar? But the rich people over there, they spray dollars even in weddings. So nobody arrests anybody. Why? And the security, everybody is watching them. It is only those the poor people when they do something like yesterday, when they are wrong, quite sure. But look at how they handcuffed them because they went to a house and broke it. Look at people that stole billions of naira running on the street with even securities at their back. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. That's the last call I'll be taking in the program, Nigeria Today. Doctor, the action of the Central Bank of Nigeria and, of course, the Bureau de Change operators, how will it bring an end to the issue of instability in the price of the dollar against the naira?
Yes, by God's willing, these gains that have already been made by the CBN can be sustained by ensuring that unscrupulous elements do not come back into the business again.
Okay.
And to also put an eye on the CBN itself, because it's one thing to be fighting the BDCs, it's another thing to also to be fighting the enemy from within. Where a lot of CBN officials have already been fingered to be involved in some of these shady deals. So there's the need for the CBN leadership to look inwardly, especially at those at the rodents in the kitchen, and ensure that they are being flushed out so that the system will continue to get better. We have seen some level of stabilization now of the naira in the last 4 or 5 days, and we expect to see more stabilization of the naira as we move on into the next few months. We hope this time around, these moves, the government will get it right, and then we'll be able to see the downward slide in the prices of commodity. But again, Nigerians too must put an eye on what others are doing, especially those who are using the dollar in Nigeria, which is not a legal tender. And if you see anything, report. And even if no action is taken, you know that to the best of your ability, you have seen it and you have reported it, and no action was taken. History will favor you till eternity. Okay. So I believe that the speculators, the BDCs, will continue to do the right thing so that our dear country will survive this particular test.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Dansala Liu, for being part of the program Nigeria Today, this beautiful Monday morning, and to the DC on duty, talking about Ahmed Issa Sakwe and, of course, Stephen Jia. My name is Maimuna Muhammad Babangida, saying join us tomorrow for a fresh package of the program Nigeria Today. Good morning.